Hey, don't you just hate it when there's a fly in the house? Damn flies. The Pythagoreans only had one secret only, and that was incommensurability. That's right. It's not my feeling or opinion, it's a fact. One person was even supposedly drowned over it for telling a bunch of people the secret of Pythagorean incommensurability. Everything else was an open book as far as wisdom or past wisdom and knowledge that you wanted to know. But I actually, it's allergy season, sorry about that. I carved this out of wood. Yeah? And here's the incommensurable cut right here. But the only geometry, in my opinion also, is also a hardcore fact, to embody Pythagorean incommensurability is this. It's the 1, 1, phi triangle. Down here's the base, which is phi. Isosceles triangle. 1, 1, and phi. And you have an incommensurable cut here, and you have 1, 1, and phi again, where 1 becomes phi. You go into an hour-long discussion about why phi, or the golden ratio, is the same thing as 1. It's the delineation or the manifestation of 1 in self-attribution. In other words, everything that people see beautiful in nature is the 1. It's also, too, the reason why the first two Fibonacci numbers in the sequence are 1 and 1, because it's principle and attribute, just as the two bases of the incommensurable triangle here are 1 and 1. Interestingly enough, and it's also too the same triangle I have tattooed here on the underside of my hand. I have an injury there in the back of my hand where I got hit by a tree branch, but it's the same geometry as water. Isn't that neat? Water is the antenna of life. All life is just dust without water. I think all of us realize that, right? That's certainly not a revelation, in me stating that, but people don't actually consider what that means. Well, all life is dust without water. It's not life at all. It's just a pile of dust, right? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, right? Water is the bridge and antenna of the new, it doesn't matter what language we're talking about. Talk about the Spiritus Sanctum, and in Pali it's Chitta, in Greek it's the nous, and it's the radio that tunes manifest consciousness. Let's repeat that again, since it's the most important statement that you could say about the universe in general, and you never heard it in college or high school or anything like that, is water is the bridge and or antenna of the nous, or the Chitta, or the Spiritus Sanctum, and it is the radio, like a radio tunes a signal. What happens at death? And I say, well, here's a question for you. What happens to the radio, to the signal when you smash the radio? Ooh, what happens to the signal when you smash the radio? So we want to know what happens at death. Just tell me what happens to the signal when you smash the radio. Does anything happen to the signal? Well, the answer to that, of course, is no. What if, like the Matrix or the Terminator, where the actual signal itself is conscious, we could actually then apply CrossFit to that attribute over? Well, when you smash the radio, if the animated signal is in identification with the radio, then it suffers because of false, and it's all identification phenomenology in all forms of Greek and Indian and Egyptian monism, that if there is identity, then there's actual suffering. Because it doesn't have to be mere physical, empirical, or psychophysical suffering. It can actually be noetic suffering due to agnosis or avidya, primordial ignorance, not conventional or empirical ignorance, that one suffers by identifying with that which you are not. And the most repeated phrase in ancient Pali is Isakaya Namisata, or Namarupa Anatati. The psychophysical is not the soul. The body is not the soul. When you say my soul, it implies possession, like something has a soul. It's not one thing having another. The soul is the soul, of course. So, water, let's get back to water. So it's by retroductive fact that water is the source for all memory. My entire life I've known that drinking tap water was a bad idea, and I never drank it. There was a few times I did when I was like just dying of thirst and I drank from a garden hose. So there's probably been a few times where I've lapsed there. And I'm certainly no visage of health. I obviously, eat too many potatoes or pasta. I'm stuck behind the computer too much. I used to be super, super skinny as my early, so I'm not saying I'm any, expert on health there, but, I do drink pure water from aquifer systems. So drinking a million times recycled toilet water is very bad for you. I mean, very bad in many countless ways. Well, it's pure water. It's been tested to be perfect. Like New York City water is the cleanest water in the United States. You know, by empirical measurement, that would be true, but there's no measurement for the fact that that water is literally recycled toilet water 1,000,000 times over, and drinking that filth is not good for you. My entire life, I never believed in, spending money on purified tap water. People spend a lot of money on that. If you're going to buy water, which I do, and I got several cases of it over there, it's from an aquifer system. It's been in the ground like 60 years, and it's been purified countless ways, but most importantly, it's been purified such that it's actual, true, natural, structured water. So the aquifer water has been underground for, 60, depends, like, I used to do a lot of diving in the aquifer systems of central northern Florida and High Springs, Florida. Devil's Eye Cave, Devil's Ear Cave, a Little River Cave. It was beautiful, clean. Take out your regulator when you're in the underwater caves, drink all the water you want, put your regulator back in. Wonderful water. It's been underground at least, 40 to 60 years. I forget on Florida aquifer water how long it's been underneath there. So, geometry of water is the one and only true secret of but this is not my opinion. This is a fact. It's the one and only true. By the way, this same specific geometry, if you take it in triplicate, if you look at it like this, and then you look at it like this, 1, 2, and 3, yeah, that's the Pythagorean pentagram. Yeah. I am not into New Age nonsense, New Age crystal rubbing, fluffadoodle. I am totally against the New Age movement. They love to co-opt the Pythagorean pentagram. They have no idea what the Pythagorean pentagram means. They have absolutely no clue of why it was the symbol of Pythagorean incommensurability, and the reason why it's, of course, 3 triangles is the tripartite nature of the world. The Christians adopted that, and so did many other religions, the Trinity, Every little silly religion's got its own little silly trinity, but the tripartite nature of the universe, the cosmos, dates well back to the Pythagoreans, and who knows before them. So that, you look at it like this, there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. You end up with the Pythagorean pentagram. This is the geometry of water. This is the only geometry of Pythagorean incommensurability. The absolute only geometry. Geometry of water, like I said, once again, so important, is the only true secret of the Pythagoreans. The geometry between the divine, up here, and the geometry between the mundane. The only bridge between mundane, between spirit and matter. Life, of course, is the consubstantiality, a word everybody should learn. Consubstantiality, I've used it a lot in a lot of videos. Life is the consubstantiality between matter and spirit. Yeah? Between the psychophysical and hyle, or the ancient Greek word hyle, matter, base matter. Yeah? And 2, if we take a line, this is from Plato's Republic, 509d to 511. We take a line, we divide it unevenly, and then we divide each one of those segments unevenly. We end up with the same incommensurable segments of the Pythagorean triangle, the only incommensurable geometry of the Pythagorean incommensurability. Oh, I kind of repeated myself twice on that one. Right here, we end up with am I holding it right? There we go. Phi 1, 1, 1 over phi, which together are 4.23606, i.e. phi cubed. The principle of that is the aoristos dias, or the Greeks called it ananke, they also called it dolma, which is my discovery, by the way, which is 1 over phi to the power of -3, which is 0.23606. So 1 over 0.23606 is the aoristos dias of the agathon, or the absolute. You end up with phi cubed. But the breakdown, or the incommensurability of phi cubed, 4.23606, is right here, phi 1, 1 over phi, which is, you could find this in Plato's Republic, 509d to 511, like I said. This is that geometry. This is the incommensurable cut, which I actually made that little slice right there. You can see the line coming down right here. It'd take a really long time to fully explain incommensurability, and it goes so deep above and below. And that's the reason why it's the only true secret of the Pythagoreans. The one thing that they did want to keep secret from mundane minds. The only secret of the You know, if it's the only secret of the Pythagoreans, that would kind of make it important, wouldn't it? I don't know about you, but that would probably put it somewhere extremely high on the list. People want to know the secrets of the Pythagoreans. Well, what's the only true secret of the Pythagoreans? It's that. I'm explaining it to you. And that is the same geometry as this. Doesn't matter how you look at it. Oxygen, hydrogen, hydrogen. This is the antenna of life. This is what makes life possible. The consubstantiality between matter and spirit. Water is the dipole. If you don't know what a dipole antenna is, look it up on a Google search, right? Dipole, D-I-P-O-L-E, right? Water is the dipole antenna of life. It's not my feeling or my opinion. It's a fact. All life does not exist without water. It's just a pile of dust. Everybody knows that, but no one's ever thought about it. Well, almost nobody's ever thought about it. So water, once again, is that bridge between the mundane and the supermundane, i.e. the metaphysical. It's the bridge and antenna of the nous or the chitta or the spirit. I don't care what language you use. It's like talking about dark energy. You talk about the ether, dark energy, counter space, dark matter. Humans love to create 100 different names for one and the same thing. So, there's a reason why I have this triangle tattooed on the back of my right hand. That's the secret of Pythagorean incommensurable. But by looking at it, it's not going to give you the secret. Even this video doesn't really give you the secret unless you have a really sharp mind and at least some wisdom. You know, it's like throwing pearls before swine. I mean, just saying this or showing somebody this doesn't give them anything. They actually truly have to penetrate what it means and like, oh my gosh, I see it now. So this has nothing to do with New Age quackery. I can't stand that movement. I got nothing to do with them. But that is the secret of water. That is the secret of Pythagorean incommensurability. And that is the one true secret of the Pythagoreans. So, if you're going to buy water, which you should, I do, buy it from aquifer systems. Like Fuji water, Fujifilm, right? Fuji water, Gerolsteiner. There's some other things from aquifer systems. High Springs water, which is from High Springs, Florida. You may not be able to get High Springs water. You get it all over Florida in my other house. That's because it's coming from the aquifer system of Florida. Even that system won't be pure when all the chemicals and whatnot leach down in there, and sewer water and septic fields leach down. So in another 20 years, even the aquifer system of Florida won't be pure anymore. So we'll actually have to rely on structured water, wiping out the memory of water before we consume it into our bodies. So, anyway, I hope you liked this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you like it, you can always click the link below. Or you can tell me how much you hated this video. But when it comes to incommensurability, I could literally talk for days on the topic. You know, like, here's incommensurability. And it would paint a picture in someone's mind. They would have all the pieces of the puzzle. Oh, I get it now. You know, I had all this information before, but I didn't get it. It's like, oh, I get it now. The big secrets of the ancients are not that so much that they were secret, is because they were impenetrable by superficial, materialistic, unintelligent minds. You know? It's like throwing a book of the world's best wisdom before a dirty pig, you know? It's like, well, it's not a secret. It's sitting right there before the pig. You know, what's he going to do with it? I mean, even if the pig could read, you know, he still wouldn't understand it. It's a secret because it's sublime and impenetrable by lesser minds. That's the real true secret of these. It's a secret. It's an ancient secret. It's like, no, it's not a secret. It's that it's impenetrable by most minds. That's very unfortunate. That says a lot about humanity, unfortunately. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you like these videos. And have a lovely weekend. Goodbye. For my deep voice, it was because of the allergies. I'm suffering from, like, allergies right now. Yeah? Okay, thank you.